Made possible through support from ARC Thrift Stores, the ARC of Aurora, Developmental Pathways, and PASCO, Personal Assistance Services of Colorado. THINK+change talks. People with disabilities who live in the U.S. are 2.5 times as likely to be victims of violent crimes as those without disabilities, and 3 times as likely to be targets of rape, robbery, or aggravated assault. Victimization in people with disabilities, it's real. A series of different perspectives. Sexual assault.
I'm Linda. I have disability, and I'm victim of sexual assault.
I drew these today. Dry bit of them because I'm an artist now. I've been an artist since my mom and dad passed.
One was when I was about 10 years old, and I was playing basketball. And some guy came up to me and says, "Oh, I heard you got a new record." That was one of those 45 records. And I said, "Yeah, why?" And he says, "Let's go up to the hall and play this record." And I didn't know what he was up to because I was too young. I was 10. And so when I got up there, I said, "What am I doing in here? I'm supposed to be at my own hall eating dinner." And that's when he forced sex on me, and I was too scared, and I told him I need to get to my hall, I need to eat. And this was an employee, and that person who had fired him because he found out about it, had sex. And I told him no, and he didn't know the word no means. I told him no, and he didn't know the word no is. I said, that means you cannot do that. Then another thing like that happened again. Here I was on my way up to the apartment. I was on the 2nd floor, apartment 205. And I was getting ready to unlock the door to go in, and he forced his way in there. And he said, "Can I trouble you some water?" I asked him very nice, I said, "You need to go to the drinking fountain to get the water." But he didn't understand that, so he just forced his way in and he forced sex on me on that. I said, "That's the guy that raped me." So he went and took 3 cops to arrest him, put him in handcuffs, and took him to jail. And so there was another girl raped by him too. And she testified the same thing I said. And that's how he got 4 years. We had to go to his sentence. He got 4 years in prison. Bunch of creeps wants to take advantage of women, disability especially. I've changed. I know what to do now if anybody assault me. And that sometimes a dog can be a good Samaritan by calling the police and trying to protect that person that's being assaulted.
A victim of a sex assault, who it is. I always say that the first thing I say is, I want you to know that I believe you. This detective believes you. We're here for you. You didn't do anything wrong. As a community, we need to be doing that with our sex assault victims. We need to be embracing them, and we need to be saying that to them. We believe you, and you didn't do anything wrong. I am Yvette. I am a deputy district attorney, and I've been doing district attorney work for 17 years in the community with a specific emphasis on sexual assault and specifically related to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. People with intellectual and developmental disabilities are oftentimes victimized, they're targeted, they're exploited, and that is done specifically by people who are predators, sexual assault predators regularly choose these types of victims because it's easy to offend against them, and they understand intuitively that it's going to be difficult for them to come forward. So important to not only educate our community, but our law enforcement personnel, to educate prosecutors. Most sexual assault victims generally will not report because they fear not being believed. This is even more highlighted for somebody with an intellectual or developmental disability. These predators know specifically that this person will have a difficult time communicating that sexual assault because it's such a personal thing anyway to any victim, even more so for somebody with an intellectual or developmental disability. If we can bring some kind of education, training, some kind of understanding to the community in general about this kind of crime and how it's perpetrated on victims who have intellectual and developmental disabilities, then maybe we're going to be more successful and be able to really go after these perpetrators, because it's real. I mean, it is a real. They're exploited from people who are supposed to be their caretakers. They're exploited by people who are, bus helpers, aides, family, all kinds of people that are close to them. And if we don't give them a voice, then we are in essence allowing this to continue. We can't. Law enforcement and prosecutors need to be trained, need to have specific training about how to prosecute these cases successfully, how to be able to get that investigation, communicate, and how to be able to present that to a jury. This doesn't happen in a vacuum, and it's our responsibility. It really is our responsibility to do this. We can't just sit by and let this happen. People who perpetrate, especially people with sexual assault, once they figure out that they can be successful, they continue to do it, and they get better and better and better and better at it. And that is what is so insidious about the whole thing, right? There are lots of steps between filing of charges and actually going to a jury that can look like and can be justice for that victim, which means that there's going to be interaction between myself as a prosecutor and that victim. And I'm going to figure out for that victim, with that victim, what justice looks like. It doesn't always just have to be a jury trial. Justice can look like a lot of different things.
For more information or to find support if you are a victim with a disability, contact the ARC's National Center on Criminal Justice and Disability, www.thearc.org/NCCJD or 800-433-5255. THINK+change. Talks, trainings, and tools to help in your work for or with people with intellectual and other developmental disabilities. Learn more at www.thinkchange.training.